Thank you very much. Thanks. Good morning, everyone, and good evening here in Australia. And I don't know what's the time zone in the rest of the world, but hello from me and salam for all of you. So I'm going to talk about the psychosocial response to support traumatized Afghans, and I would share SARS experiences with you. As we all know, Afghanistan have been in a long-standing conflict for the last 40 years, so resulting in a significant loss of civilian casualty, millions of refugees all around the world, actually changes in the infrastructure in fabric of the society, and the whole devastation of the country. But most have done what had happened now in current crisis or taking over of the Taliban for the second time has been described by most Afghan one of the most painful and stressful and traumatizing experience of all.
The Taliban, it's quite clear, the Taliban are a terrorist group that will terrorize anyone that does not share their medieval outlook on life. In fact, last week, the Taliban killed a doctor and his extended family of 14 people, including little babies, because he had treated some of the wounded resistance fighters. Whilst the Taliban offensive was going on, they deliberately shipped quite a number of men, bundled them into trucks and shipped them to an unknown location, later to be shoved into shipping containers and then set alight. I have had a second-hand account of my auntie who currently resides in Kabul, and one of the relatives had told her that he had gone to these containers to identify a loved one, and obviously he's in shock. And on a nightly basis, we have Taliban groups like this knocking on the door and taking away 10 to 20 people at a time, tying their hands and killing them. These are the reports that we're getting on a nightly basis. This is another video which shows 4 young people from Panjshir in Kabul who have been taken from their homes, their hands tied behind their hands. They're shoved into the boots of these 2 cars and taken away to be killed. In terms of what this does to our community members here, it's almost a state of numbness. Broadly speaking, members of our community, culturally, we're very reluctant to seek assistance in terms of mental health issues and so forth. And I think that has a huge bearing, but I know that many of them are suffering because, as Dr. Nooria pointed out, especially those of us who lived through the Soviet occupation and obviously lived through the 30-odd years of war, there's some triggers in here that brings back memories. I mean, I was a baby, for example, when the communist secret service came into our house and took my older brother in the middle of the night, similar to this picture here. It's just that in that case they did not knock at the door; they just jumped over the walls, as it were, and entered the room. So members of the community are in shock, and we hope that hopefully the international community will speak out. So it's a life of anxiety for people inside Afghanistan, and it's a life of anxiety for us in places like Australia, because, you know, again, personally, I have 6 or 7 cousins who are in this situation currently, moving from house to house on a nightly basis.
Regarding the situation in Turkey, if you allow me, because our real problem is that we have no policy regarding the Afghan people in Turkey, and more than estimated 40 to 50,000 Afghan people are stuck in only one city of Turkey, in the far east of Turkey. And these people are irregular migrants, unfortunately, without any registration, and not allowed to be registered, and do not have any identification. So they can't even seek for psychosocial support since they don't have any documents, and there is no official deportation. Unofficially, they are put in a bus and sent to the border to be deported by officials of Turkey. And we could have only one application to the center, with an extremely sad story. The husband is lost in a bombing. 2 sons have been kidnapped by Taliban forces, and the mother had just fled from the country with a son and a daughter, and the son committed suicide when they arrived in Turkey. So they need psychosocial support, but first they need identification. And UN should just force Turkey for a clear policy of Afghan refugees. That is all.
Thank you for organizing this webinar, and I think Berta will help me to show my presentation. Persons from Afghanistan has been our largest patient group for a couple of years now, so also at the moment. This is really, I mean, the country of highest concern for us. We know that all of these questions that people have are aggravating the stress and the concern that they are feeling. I mean, these are questions linked to asylum. People are worrying, I mean, will they be deported or not? And we know that Sweden only a couple of last months ended all deportations to Afghanistan temporarily, and we don't know how long that stop will be in place. So people who are living here with a negative decision, awaiting deportation, they are concerned about that, not knowing what will happen with them.
¿Qué detectamos o qué han detectado también nuestros equipos psicológicos en la intervención directa? Muchas están conectadas y pueden luego ampliar esta información. El sentimiento de culpa, que también se ha hablado, por dejar aparte de la familia en situación de origen, en país de origen, perdón. Otro de los trabajos que se ha intentado hacer en esta primera fase también es intentar ponerles en contacto para reducir la incertidumbre. Tener en cuenta es que esta ruptura abrupta ha sido y ha supuesto una ruptura externa con todos los referentes vitales de la persona, importantes, con todo su trabajo, su familia, su idioma, su cultura, y una ruptura interna, ¿no? Esa ruptura interna que es el trauma, que es esa herida interior que tendremos que ir trabajando poco a poco. Ahora mismo lo que más destaca a nivel psicológico es la incertidumbre por el futuro. la frustración por la pérdida de todo y la preocupación por las personas en país de origen. Estamos en una fase más de desahogo emocional, de crear espacios informales para que las personas puedan desahogarse, puedan hablar, y hay un rechazo muy evidente, como ya han comentado otros compañeros, a la intervención psicológica directa, puesto que en Afganistán la figura de la psicóloga o de la psiquiatra no es una figura que esté interiorizada y que sea habitual, con lo cual lo asocian más a la locura, y las respuestas que las personas y las familias están teniendo en estos momentos de estrés pues son respuestas normales ante la situación que están viviendo. Y se están generando más esos espacios a nivel informal para fomentar que puedan por lo menos poner palabras, ¿no?, a todo lo que han vivido y tener una narrativa de estas situaciones tan complicadas, y además de las situaciones que ya arrastraban anteriormente antes del exilio. También detectamos mucha desconfianza. Sabemos que el trauma pues es una herida muy profunda provocada por otros seres humanos que rompe nuestro sistema de creencias y la confianza y la seguridad en el mundo.
As we spoke before, it's a long-standing conflict, and the impact on every aspect has been huge, and obviously the mental health impact is huge as well. But at the moment, we are all trying to support as much as we can with this current crisis, with a level that we contain, validate, acknowledge Afghans and listen to their pain, more than even going anywhere deeper to that level, because Afghans are in desperation and they keep asking us to rescue our family members. So that's the main and huge concern at the moment. But the later mental health impact, we believe from our experiences, will come later on. So we want international community that please pay attention to Afghanistan and Afghan crisis, and we really want this voice to be up and to be raised and be heard in any intervention level, UNHCR, in any other level, and because it is devastating. It's a human rights catastrophe. It's affecting Afghans, of course, inside Afghanistan, but all Afghans, millions of Afghans around the world have been badly affected by that. So I really would like, from the bottom of my heart, to thank IRCT for organizing this webinar and for allowing to raise the voice of Afghans. And thank you very much indeed.